What's up, my brothers and sisters out there in YouTube and Facebook land? It's your boy Rome. It's Wednesday night. It's bike night here in Houston. So I'm gonna be rolling out to one of the local bike spots. I know if you've been following me on YouTube and Facebook, you already know where I'm going. You know, maybe I'll add a few more stops here and there. Depends on how much footage I wind up posting from this blog. Today's topic is one that I think most of us all feel strongly about, and that is the innovation of new technology related to motorcycles. So whether that's better helmets, better gear, better, jackets, boots, tires, whatever it may be. And I feel like this is one of those times that we're going to see some really amazing things come to market. So with that said, one of the things that I was really looking forward to seeing come to market was the Skully helmet. Well, for those of you who may not know, Skully has gone out of business. And the biggest part of the problem for a lot of people who, subscribe to that helmet, who paid in advance with their Kickstarter program, your money is pretty much just gone. So they'll never see those dollars again, nor will they ever get their helmet fulfillments placed. And it's a sad situation because there's a lot of really amazing technology on the forefront of being developed or released, but a lot of these designers, engineers, don't have the funding to take this stuff to market. And they rely on Indiegogo, GoFundMe, sites like that, social media to get the word out. And that's how a lot of people starting out in the industry gets their first products to market. Now, if the products are successful, they probably won't need to do another campaign like that because they'll be able to fund the new project or the future projects from the profits from, whatever the product is they produce starts to sell. But, for months now, if not over a year, I've been hearing rumors of people continuously buying into the Skully helmet company and, spending that $1,500, to get a new helmet. And the technology was just amazing for what it was. A heads-up display, a rear camera, all of the other features. I mean, if you guys aren't familiar with the Skully, helmet, I will place a link at the bottom of the video and you can take a look at it for yourself. So this week I was watching a few of the motovloggers that are very popular, and a number of them have been related and linked to Skully helmets because they've gotten them as demo models, and they've took them out and tested them and said, hey, these are amazing helmets, and they're putting their stamp on it that this company is really fulfilling their orders and it's worth it. Make the investment. This will be an amazing helmet for you, so spend the money. Well, we see what happened. Now, not to say that any of them in any way are responsible for what happened with Skully. It's just something that you need to be aware of, the fact that don't just believe everything that you hear just because of someone else's popularity or success. I've never been a huge fan of adopting technology, the first generation of something, unless it's just something really unique that is not going to break the bank, and it's something that I can justify in my mind, that I can utilize in my everyday life, or in my work environment or something like that. If it's something, new technology for photography, videography, I'm going to most likely give it a second, maybe even a third look, because if I find a way that I can utilize it and I can write it off because it is something that can be used as a professional tool, I'm going to go for it. Now, there's a new action camera coming out from a company called Fusar, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right, Fusar, F-U-S-A-R, and they produced an action camera that mounts on the top of your helmet, and it also has a black box feature where if you're down for more than 2 minutes, it will alert and send out information so that whoever you have on your alert list, you know, to your significant others, that something's gone wrong, and a geographical location as to where you are, so on and so on. So I think this, again, is a technology that is overdue. You know, this should have been something that was out by one of the bigger helmet manufacturers. You know, whether it's Shoei, Arai, any of those guys should have been able to produce something like this. Now, I have commented before that I believe the next smart helmets are going to come from a company like Sena, because they already have the components, they're already creating this type of technology with the cameras, with the intercom systems, you know, mics that obviously work because we use them almost on a daily basis. So I really think a company like that, or somebody will partner with a company like that, and that's where the technology will come from. And they have a track record of making it to market. You know, GoPro is having some issues right now because they missed their window for their new model, which would have been the GoPro Hero 5. So their stock has dropped and things like that. But it doesn't mean that they won't still come to market with something, you know, extraordinary when, you know, in the action camera realm. The problem with it is, if they don't get to market soon enough, their competition will outshine them. There's no doubt about that. So I hope that this company that's producing this Mohawk action camera will make it to market, and all of those people who have invested their money in their Indiegogo campaign won't wind up in the same situation as the people, you know, who have invested their money in Skully. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm a big nerd. You know, I'm all about technology, whether it's new phones, new cameras, new lenses, new software, you know, the latest MacBooks, whatever it is. You know, I mean, whether I purchase it, I at least want to know about it and evaluate it to decide if this is something that's going to be practical for me. So the whole purpose of this little short blog is to, you know, identify possibly, you know, maybe you guys have an opinion, or somebody who really knows what's going on has an opinion, and say, hey, this is where they went wrong, or this is why, you know, this failed. I've been in business for myself for, you know, over 25 years, so I know what it takes to stay in business. I know what it takes to start a business. And these guys were starting out, if you want to, you know, look at it, you know, with a leg up or a hand up or whatever however you want to look at it, and all they had to do was complete their R&D, get the products to market. Even if it wasn't the best version of it for the first generation, you know, it would have still been something that made it to market and had future potential of being better in each generation of that product coming out. So I feel like, you know, not only did they hurt themselves as a company, but they have endangered other companies that may be looking to produce their new technology and need this funding, as, you know, Skully did, just to get started, and they won't get it because people are going to be so jaded from what happened with Skully. You know, because we like to think of, you know, the biker community, some people believe it as, you know, very disjointed, you know, community, but in reality, we're a very connected community. We're very connected when it comes to social media, technology, things like that. So very little gets to get past us. You know, if there's a bad tire out there, or there are bad accessories, or people are buying things out of China and it's failing, trust me, in no time you're going to hear about it. You know, if you're connected to the community. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I hope that most people will be able to overlook the fact that the guys with Skully, and I'm sure there have been other companies that have done the exact same thing. You know, I was thinking about a smartwatch that I was seeing a couple of years ago that was supposed to be a rival for the GoPro, and it was going to be, you know, an action camera, and it was going to be a smartphone, and it was going to have all these just amazing features that no other phone nor smartwatch at the time even came close to. And, you know, year after year, they talked about this and they kept revising, you know, what the technology was going to be, but it never made it to market. Now, that could have been because, you know, the big boys, you know, swatted them down or something like that. But I think for the most part, a lot of these can easily be scams when you really think about it, because it's not that difficult to produce a Indiegogo or GoFundMe video and find someone who knows enough about graphs and Photoshop, you know, and After Effects that can create something that looks realistic. I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen these phone wristband projectors that project your phone screen onto your wrist and things like that. You know, I'm not saying that something like that won't come to market in someday, but most of the time it's just somebody's idea. It's a rendering of something they think may happen, but they can make it look so real that you believe it and you'll invest in it, you know, sadly as it is. So I encourage you guys not to allow what happened with Skully to discourage you from trying to help these other companies make it to market, because in a lot of ways, the big box or the big names, you know, helmet manufacturers, gear manufacturers, they're listening to us, but they're not listening to us to the degree that what we have to say is that important to them, because they know they're the only game in town. So if we want a new helmet, or we want a new jacket, or we want new gear, we're gonna have to choose from one of them. So, you know, take your time, do your research, look at the companies, maybe try and Google, you know, who the directors of the company are, who the owners are, and see if you can find some information on them before you make your investment. You know, do your due diligence, but don't stop trying to help these guys get to market, because it's important for them. It's more important for us, because that's how our technology is going to advance. Now, my prediction is, give it a few months, maybe a year, and some Chinese or Japanese company will come to market with some strangely named product that will be almost identical to the Skully helmet, and they will be able to produce it a lot cheaper. So this will be like a $500 or $600 helmet, which is about the average for, let's say, a Shoei or, you know, an Arai or something like that, you know, a good helmet. So the technology will make it to market, that's for sure. It's just, it depends on how much time it takes for it to get there and who will be the person that brings it to market. But trust me, I guarantee you there's a lot of people looking at that technology, and they know that there's a market for it because they see how many people invested to something that did not make it to market. So if they're able to produce something and actually get it into the stores, get it online, you know, buyers from Cycle Gear and, you know, other, you know, helmet manufacturers, cycle gear websites are adopting this technology and taking it in and reselling it, they'll do well. So we'll see how it goes, guys. But anyway, I'm gonna cut this video short about right here, and I want to pay more attention to this road because of the time of night and the road that I'm on. You never know what's going to happen, so you know, it's like anything else, you know, be careful, wear your gear, watch the road. So I'm doing my thing, but I may record a little bit more video later, and I'll add it to this video if anything interesting happens at the bike night location. You know, for many times it's just the same thing, you know, a bunch of bikes riding in and, you know, people revving their engines and, you know, guys hanging around, that kind of thing. But if you're into that and you'd like to see that every week, leave a comment and I'll definitely do my best to try and get out and capture that video for you guys. Well, until then, guys, this is your boy Rome. Please subscribe and share my videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out. Yay, yay!